innovative content, global audience.
Hello, good morning to you viewers. It's another Tuesday morning, yes, and it's a cold morning here in London, the world's capital city. This is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Princess Cassie, and I have with me, as usual,
Daddy Chris.
and we'll be hooking up with Abuja right away before we kickstart with the reviews and, of course, good morning.
Good morning from Abuja. Good morning to you all in London.
Okay, how's Abuja today?
Abuja is fine.
Very well then. We've seen a lot of issues coming from the national dailies. It's no longer news. What's been happening on Rivers State House of Assembly? We've seen the power tussle. We've seen the back and forth since yesterday, and of course, mixed reaction. I've continued to treat that what's currently happening in that state. What is going on with our dear minister, the former governor of the state, and the sitting governor, Fubara Singh? These are some of the issues we'll be looking at today, and these are some of the issues that actually made it to the headlines. And of course, we saw our dear ex-president saying he's not running away. The struggle continues. What does that mean? Just maybe we should be looking forward to another, election 3 years from now. Who knows? These are some of the issues that are making a move trending today. And quickly, we will be joined with somebody that will be reviewing the papers together this morning. And of course, he's going to be speaking on the Rivers State crisis as well. There's no other than Bobome Augustine. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Nice of you to join us today. You're welcome. And we're going to kickstart this morning quickly with the reviews. Can you sit well? The head roof is too much, so you can we can fine. I think that's better. Yeah. So let's kickstart this morning with the reviews, and I'm going to start with the Punch newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories making waves from the Punch newspaper this morning, and the main headline here says, "Retire now, presidency tells Atiku, ex-VP rubbishes Supreme Court judgment." And the writer says, Apex Court legitimize legalities. Atiku insists, urges INEC to verify credentials. Atiku's presidential ambition doomed. Ex-VP desperate, says APC presidency. All these stories are on page 2 of the Punch newspaper, as well as a story here that says Rivers Assembly in crisis as Wike loyalists move to impeach Fubara. And that story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Tinubu canvasses 2 trillion naira disco recapitalization to review. And that story is on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says FG approves 2.2 trillion naira supplementary budget. And that story is on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says 70 corpses, skeletons uncovered near Abia cattle markets. That is coming from the governor, Uti. And that story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Ohaneze Saludu mourns as legal icon. Nwagweze dies at 94. And that story is on page 16, 15 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says Taraba governor mourns 100 boats accident victims, orders probe. And that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. UBA gross Q3 revenue to 1.3 trillion naira. And that story is on page 25. Now, these are all the stories we have coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. Daddy Chris, let me throw this to you first. We've seen that also it's been so much issues in Rivers State since yesterday. There was a fire outbreak first, and then we've seen the impeachment move, and of course the removal of the leader as the House leader as well. Now, these are the news is saying Wike loyalists move to impeach Fubara. And we all know that Wike actually brought in Fubara. We know that it's politics, and it's something that is peculiar to every other state where you see governors leaving and they're bringing their loyalists, and at the end of the day, they still want to control, and maybe that's where the issues are. Now, what's your take on that story?
I've always said that the governors are the problems in Nigeria. Our governors are our problems. See, if all we talk about is democracy at the federal level, but there's hardly democracy at the state level. If you see, once a governor, because they have so much money and nobody is really fighting them, they have these huge allocations and all the resources coming from the state, and all they talk about, all they tell us is what the federal government is not doing. Exactly, look at what Wike is doing in his own state. You understand? This is peculiar, even in our own state. In Delta State, we saw how Okowa planted Oboriwori. You understand? All of them, they live in. But we don't see that if Buhari had done that. You see, that's what Buhari said to them. You guys are picking your predecessor. Can I pick mine? And the man was called, you understand? And all names were called. You see, until we learn to deal with the state governors, they will not sit where they belong. And exactly what you see today now. Wike is just displaying his arrogance. The money he has stolen. Wike, how much were you paid as a governor to be this rich? And none of them, you see, because nobody asked them questions. All we see is not a good thing, because we have 36 states, we don't have time to look at what the activities of each of the governor. All we see today on the headline, tomorrow headline is what Tinubu going to do. What about the state governors? Look at what Wike is doing to his own people. Is this democracy? He plant them there so he can control them. Now the things are not going his way.
And funny enough, there's a trending video that is actually making a run right now where he says that when they ask him that about these issues of governors bringing in their loyalists, and then when they are not in power, they still tend to be the controller of that state. And he said, I cannot, except the person comes to my house, comes to say, okay, I need advice, I am confused, then based on he is elderly to the person on that seat or that raise or being a governor, he cannot advise. But just coming and saying I will be dictating for the person, who does that? So he was even trying to counter that. That was some months back, and now we're not saying today that that power also is really more.
Is he denying it now? Because I know he's flippant. If the press goes to him now, he's going to say what he has done.
Of course, that is one good thing about it.
No, but it's not good. He lacks diplomacy. He lacks diplomacy.
Wike is the kind of person that he hits it head on. He will not say, oh, because of the press, because of what people will say, so let me try and call up what I said before, or sugarcoat it. He's not that kind of person. If Wike had said A in the past, and if you bring the issue today, he's going to tell you A as well. That's one thing about Wike. Augustine, what do you have to say about this? We have a lot of issues here, and we know that they are saying that talks, I don't know where the suspected talks actually set the assembly house on fire. Some of the images are here as well. So I don't know what we're going to do with that, but that was the news we got. What do you think can be done? These issues of governors trying to leave office, bringing loyalists, and at the end of the day, they still tend to be in charge. And we saw the press release from Fubara yesterday, live coverage that said he has done nothing for these people to plan to impeach him, and he's going to resist any attempts of impeachment. And hopefully we don't know what will happen today, but we're just keeping our fingers crossed. But what do you think can be done?
Thank you very much. First of all, we should have to know what brought us into power, how we came into power. How you came into power as a governor or as a leader, it matters a lot. So we should not undermine these silent points. If we are following political history and the political process of how Fubara came into government, we should know, and it should be glaring to us that he came into power through the help of former Governor Wike. So it has been Wike handing him or placing him into government. So to me, I think Fubara is trying to undermine the power of his master. Although, well, yeah, he's trying to undermine the power of his political master. To me, because he might be right. What he's doing now as a governor, or trying to stabilize, what's trying to be in charge of the political affair. But what must have been the agreement that transpired between him?
Okay, Augustine, we need you to connect to a very strong network. You are breaking up. Yes, connect to a strong network, please, so we can get to hear you very well. Yes, and there's another story here as well. We're going to go back to that story because there's so much as well coming
Can you
from.
hear me?
Yes, but your network is actually down. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just saying that when you say master, at what point should we live above, somebody coming into power, and because you actually recommended me means that I should now is do or die, or I must live by your rules. This is politics, and of course, if people are involved, it's a state. It is not affair of your master or godfatherism.
My question to Akpobore is, who brought Wike to office? So the state now belongs to those people that brings people to office.
To office.
Not, you see, these are the mind, what a governor can do. And exactly what we were saying, that until democracy, until the people are accountable to the people that voted them. And I understand that. I understand what he's saying. Wike brought him in. This is why we say that our voting process should be sanitized. You understand? We need hygiene in our electoral processes, so that by the time we vote you to power, you become accountable to us, not to Wike. You see what we're going on? He is accountable to Wike because Wike brought him to power. And Wike, the idiot, has the authority to come out and say, hey, I want to, he's undermining me. Who are you to be undermined?
And then at some point when the person says, I'm no longer accountable to you because apparently the things are not going the way they should go. Now, don't forget that everybody also has their own master plan. When you go into power, you came in with your own mandate. So you're not supposed to work with Wike's mandate. He has done his own and he has left the office. So coming to say you should live by the rule is another thing I don't get.
This is the governor, right?
Yeah, this is Fubara.
Yeah, this is the governor.
Yes, I don't. And the attempt was so prompt yesterday. And Fubara also, we saw the streets of Port Harcourt to go, massive protest. The youth coming out to say they all stood by Fubara. Wike cannot come and dictate. He has so much to do in Abuja, the federal capital territory. Then coming to River State to come and dictate to the people, telling them this is what you should do or what you should not do. It's the issue here we have today. And we know that even in that state house, a lot is going on there. The leader was actually removed yesterday. And we also saw this alleged news that, and now these are the images of talks. Now, if you go, I have on the Tribune today, you could see the news there that says mayhem in Rivers. Stakeholders allege Wike Fubara at war. Suspected talks sets House of Assembly ablaze. Now, this is the news we're getting today, and you have seen that. The governor yesterday also had to sack or remove the chief judge, and we have seen people being sacked and being removed left and right. And so this is some of the issues we have. I don't think that Wike is actually doing the right thing. Look at this story now. You can see
I don't think so. I don't think if Wike is actually doing the right thing too. But what I am after is what the incumbent governor did he make what he has signed for. Because when these people will before they get power, they signed for so many things that.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Is
that our problem?
It is not the problem of the state. I disagree. You know why? Because that is politics. The more you look, the less you see. and you can actually what's it called? You can actually outdo the person, because at that point everybody is desperate to be in power. We
Yeah, so
cannot
so
stay
so so
at
so it's not left for him to outdo. I'm okay with the fact that he should outdo Wiki and then come out as a governor and deliver his mandate to the people. I'm
Yes.
quite in line with that. I'm quite in
Yes.
line with that.
Thank you.
He
So
should.
the point is, if I'm gonna go into power and I know that you'll be my stumbling block, whatever, by all means necessary, I will deceive you to get to power. I'm on for that. They should deceive
So,
the House
so,
to try
so,
to.
so, so for him to have deceived Wicked to get the power, it's
Yes.
not time, because he knows that this fight will come. He knows. He knows
Yes.
who Wicked
So
is.
and
He
it's,
has
and
worked
it's,
with him. He
yes,
has worked with him. He knows
and
that
he's
this
dealing with
fight
it.
will come. So
Yes.
it's not left for him to put out the strategic plans he has, because he has hope. He knows that this day will come. He knows this day will definitely come. So it's not left for him to put out the plan. Let him show his charisma. Let him show his strategy he has in place to outdo this.
I think this whole thing yesterday was well orchestrated. It was well planned, because we saw the way the police were, opening fire, tear gas,
Fire,
and
tear gas, and all
water
that.
and everything. So this is a move that was well planned prior to that yesterday, and that is why people are actually saying that Wike is as if Wike has so much grip on still is still having so much grip on River State, and
Yes, he does. He
yes,
does.
and we are hoping that, with the likes of Fubarana saying no to their masters, no, you cannot control me again, I'm above you. I think we can now move forward in this stage. And
Yes.
maybe we'll see more of that story. But Mary, there's a story here that says 70 corpses, skeletons uncovered near Abia cattle markets. What do we make of this?
Not is actually happening in Abia State. A lot of insecurity is actually happening there, and I think the governor, you understand, is not doing enough to help the people, because there are some part of Abia State that you cannot actually enter. You cannot even go there because of what is actually happening. You understand? So I think the governor of Abia State should do better to safeguard the people staying in Abia State.
This is quite scary. 70 corpses, and nobody is. I followed that news up to now. We've not know how they got there, and even skeletons uncovered. So it's worrisome to see that such a thing could happen without no trace. A whole 70, not one, not 10, not 20. This is only in Nigeria you can see such a thing. And then we have Joy has the power situation. Let's even start from Abuja. There's a story here that says Tinubu canvasses 2 trillion naira disco recapitalization tariff review. And then we've seen that I know in Abuja they used to try, but I don't know about other states. Other states, thank God we have Augustine here. So, but in Abuja, how's the power situation?
Good morning once more. Abuja is fine. And as for the power situation has been good. I think I came back to Abuja in the month of September, and since I came back, the light was even better than how it was before I left. Not minding the heavy rains and everything. In fact, when there is an issue, it's okay. Let me talk about where I stay more. Life camp, light has been good, and then in this environment too, light has been good. When there is an issue, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take 24 hours for them to fix it. So relatively, I want to say that light has been good. In fact, light has improved in Abuja for now.
Good to hear. Augustine, how's the light issue in your state?
Oh, the light issue in my state, I can't say it has improved. It has not. It has not. There is a lot happening regarding to electricity here in Delta State. Precisely here in Abraka, the light is unstable, and is so hard. It's so hard. We run a generator from morning till evening. The light issue has not really increased, but the bills are coming. The bills are coming. The bills keep coming, but we don't have the light.
It's
The bills keep
Nigeria.
coming,
It's
but we don't have
definitely
the light.
getting big. Anyway,
We are
so
getting
let's
the
see how that goes. And now Tinubu is campaigning for a capitalization. We hope that the monies will be spent judiciously, and of course, what should be done should be done. And then we'll move quickly to the next newspaper we have. That would be the Nigerian Tribune. Now, these are some of the stories we have coming from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. We have here the main headline: Mayhem in Rivers. Stakeholders allege Wike Fubara at war. Suspected talks set House of Assembly ablaze. House removes majority leader, serves governor with impeachment notice. Tell me why you want me impeached, governor. Another faction elects new speaker. Police deploy water cannon, tear gas to dispel protesting youths. Governor affected. Call Wike to order. Edwin Clark tells presidency. Now, all these stories are on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, as well as a story here that says how seniority arrangements still appointments of new Supreme Court justice. Alafins too. Court hears suit filed by Oyo kingmakers against Makinde today. And that story is on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Ayo Tadiwa's apology can't stop his impeachment process. And now this is coming from Ondo Speaker. There's another story here that says Tinubu passes vote of confidence on Gbajabiamila Mila, and that story is on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we saw a story here that says police arrest two people for setting school property ablaze on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says history will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgments. Now, this is coming from Atiku, the ex-vice president. These are all some of the stories we can take from Nigerian Tribune today. There's a story here that says, this story here. Augustine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, let's look at this story here that says that history will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgment. Struggle for democracy should be led by younger generation, he says. Now, Atiku, I don't understand Atiku. You're saying history will vindicate you, or that younger generation democracy should be led by younger generation, but you are not young. Yes, you're clamoring for power. You want to be led by armies. What do we make of this?
To me, I think what Atiku's statement is vague, saying a younger generation and is not young that who took over a government. You know, we had issue regarding this Atiku and Tinubu certificate forgery case the last time you had me here on your live session. I told you categorically that it would be only left for the courts to decide. And now the court has decided. And I think so. This is the finality of this issue as far as Nigeria democracy and judiciary issue is concerned. So whenever Atiku maybe he's just making statement to further portray his action, he has tried, and to me, I think he should rest. By this time, he should rest.
And he went further to say that there's a story here that says history will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgment. This is coming from Atiku. He went further to say struggle for democracy should be led by younger generation.
And is he a younger generation?
This is the question.
The stupidity of Nigeria here is, why does this man really think that he is always the best to run the affairs of Nigeria? That is the annoying part of it.
And Daddy Chris, he went further to say he's advocating for 6 years single tenure, rational presidency.
What does he understand by 6 years? In fact, now he is. See, Atiku had every chance and every opportunity to work now. You know what I'm surprised is, if you come, I run for president. That's my really problem with these two guys, right? With Peter Obi and Atiku. I run for president. I got a good share of the Nigerian vote. Meaning, many of us believe in you. A government is in power. It is not true that you cannot still influence or you cannot do anything positive for the country. Why are they not working now? Is it only when you hold the money? That's when you can tell us who you are? Sometimes there are a lot of things these guys can do to help Nigerians at this stage if they really mean to. So until I become president, I am nothing. I will not be able to do anything. Hello, Peter Obi was going around trying to come up with some strategy to help the country. Peter, I still expect him now to do something. And I expect Atiko to do something. We're waiting until you come and steal our money. Atiko is the number one no for me. You understand? He's the number one no. And couple with the father, they pick on Okowa. Okowa, who is like wicked, good of them, the two of them for themselves. You understand?
So can I ask a question?
Go on, sir.
Yeah, so what you just stated now, you've asked a very reasonable question. You said these people were coming, they were conversing that we have to so plan for Nigeria. We have to so plan. So why you are asking why can't they hook up and then make some positive impact, even though while they are not government? Why can't they support the incumbent government? So does that bring in the fact that these people are self-centered in quotes? They lie to the audience just to get their votes.
You see, they don't even necessarily need to support the government. If it's a party with an ideology, or they come in with an ideology, they'll be pushing. Anytime the government is not doing such, they'll be pushing for that. Like Peter Obi would have come out straight and said, listen, this is what we want. This is the plan. You understand? You see, here in the UK, they formed a parallel government. You see, they have the sitting government and they have the other party, which is the next to it. They work, they have ESCOs. You understand? That, see, Tinubu is supposed to have his own ministers now, whether they got the power or not. So these people, we say, this is what our government would have done. And they begin to checkmate the activities of government. Look at Tinubu came out something. All right? Tinubu said, okay, I'm going to take out subsidies, which was welcome. Many of us welcome it. But what is he doing with the money? This is where we expected Peter Obi to say, listen, this was my plan. I was going to take subsidies. So you begin to still inflate, be relevant. So next time you can win election. The way they've gone, and that's why Atiko will never win election. You understand? He's gone back to Dubai. The question is, which money is he spending in Dubai? Our money. That's a topic for another day. But you'll be coming back up before the election to come and change things again, and then you disappear. I'll be disappointed if Peter disappeared too. You understand? I expect Peter to form a government and not an opposition. An opposition, it is good for democracy. So the current government will sit up. If they want to help us, just checkmating the activities of this government. We help the government to sit up. So by the time you spend money and somebody say, because Peter is known, we respect him. Anytime the opposition government says something, you will see the press will be happy. You understand? Or if this man, Atiku, is not only talking about how he's going to get to power, if he's actually coming up with a strategy that you see what he's doing, this is what we said we will do. The government will be embarrassed and they begin to sit up. So we need a check and balances. That's what we lack. And it's time for Nigeria to actually challenge those who didn't win the election. Rather than telling us how you're going to win, tell us what you're going to do for us. Check the activity of the government.
Some of them, Atiku have the resources. Yesterday I was just saying that. Do you know he has?
Our governor gives our money to run election for him. What their money is old money. You see what is going on there? These guys, they spend so much that if they tell you Atiku bill in a month, it's enough to shake the world. So their money is moving like the way they get it. So if they don't get in a day, you understand, they're dead. That's why it was relying on our Delta State to. It was Okowa that was using Delta State money. It has been our destiny anyway. If we use our money for this other guy, what's his name? Yaradua. Okowa use our money. We don't know who, because Sheriff, with time now, Sheriff will begin to believe that he can be president. And by the time it goes out, after 8 years, it will not be the same Sheriff. Sheriff will be like this. It's like, did you go not pack enter the guy? You understand? You go not tell you say I can be president.
But it is not out of place if Sheriff after 8 years he says he can be president. It depends on his presence on ground, what he has done. So because
I'll be happy to see him run for president, not to use our money to support. You see, if everybody was running for president and he spent our money, you understood. He used the money to support others. Now, Okowa used our money to support others. They both failed. Anyway, everybody won. Okowa failed. So this is our destiny. Are we happy?
Yes, we are.
Sure.
And there's a story here. Okay, I'll move quickly to the Daily Trust newspaper now. Now, these are some of the stories we have making waves. We have here the main headline: 7 weeks after Tinubu's visit, Nigeria UAE row lingers. And the writer says Nigerians in UAE cry out over work permit visa ban. FG working to resolve issues. That's coming from official. And more writer here says Nigerians there decry slow pace in resolving diplomatic role. All these stories are on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says the impeachment plot. PDP governors meet today to save Rivers governor. That story is on page 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says that 19 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. This is coming from the president, and that story is on page 11 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says that 20 feared dead in Cross River Benue communities boundary disputes, and that story is on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper. There's a story here that says FEC approves 2.18 trillion 2023 supplementary budget on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that say unstable exchange rates forces imports down by 65% in third quarter, and that story is on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, there's a story here that says Taraba boat accident, 7 bodies recovered, 12 rescued. And that story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says at Tinubu Atiku continue feud over Supreme Court verdicts. Judgment mandate bandit robbery. This is coming from the ex VP. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Daily Trust this morning. It's quite worrisome, that yesterday we did talk about water transportation, and today we are seeing here that 70 bodies already recovered from that accident, and they were total number of 100. The rescue mission, I've been following that story. The rescue mission is still there, searching for them and all that. Divers are still doing their jobs, and we can see that 17 bodies have been recovered, 12 rescued, and we're happy about that as well. It's quite sad. But there's a story here. I know we've talked about electricity a while ago, but Daddy Chris, now we're seeing here that 19 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. This is even coming from the president. Um, how disturbing is this?
Well, we know that's the biggest shame of our time. If there's anything we call shame, no, if Ghana have constant electricity, in fact, neighboring countries have constant electricity. Again, it boils down to two simple things. Maybe I think like an idiot. Why is it so difficult, really? Because you'll be surprised now that the private sector, like what is it called now, until we're maybe waiting for Dangote again to invest in the electricity sector, where our government are busy looting. You know what I call looting? They are busy looting. What a shame. Now we don't have electricity. But anyway, let's thank the president for recognizing it in the first place. And hopefully he's going to do something about it. But it is disheartening to see that people live in darkness. The first thing God created was let there be light. All right? Meaning when there's no light, there's darkness. We are in darkness. Nigeria, we are in darkness. And it's important, it's symbolic for us to be living in darkness in the 21st century. What's a language?
And let's not forget that I think 2-3 weeks ago I read a story here that says there's this community in Ondo State that have not seen light for 90 years. They're like, okay, in Nigeria, this is quite strange.
Be serious?
Yes, I saw it on the headline. Now we discussed about it here in one of my shows. It's quite sad. But we hope that the president, since he has been able to identify that 90 million Nigerians lack access to electricity, he will do something about that as well. And then, Augustine, we are seeing here that impeachment plot, PDP governors meet today to save Fubara, our dear Fubara. Do you think what do you think this meeting will amount to? And let's talk about Wiki as well. But what do you think? What should we be expecting from that meeting, Augustine?
The outcome of this meeting is very to be so undetermined. You won't be able to tell because you talk about the PDP structure in a river state. You know, Wike has been able to cut across irrespective of political party. Wike has raised so many individuals in place. So whatsoever decisions these people will make, you will still see that there are betrayers around the corner for Fubara. Fubara is having a big issue. He may be thinking that, oh, I'm with my people, but he's at the tail end. He's not going to be with his people. It's a very difficult task for him, and it's going to be very difficult to me. It's going to be very
I
difficult.
agree. I agree with that. You know, now all the governors of PDPs are meeting today as regarding the impeachment plot. But I'm thinking that Wike might not be there, but there's somebody there that will be for Wike and against
Yes,
Fubara. And that
yes,
is where the issue will come. And
yes.
Kenneth, why do you think, don't you think it's high time Wike tell us where he belongs? We don't know where Wike is at the moment.
Well,
Where Wike is at the moment, does it really matter politically at the moment?
Yes, it should, but I want Kenneth to answer that question.
Okay.
I think what you're seeing and manifesting now is I mean to say the clear-cut strategy of the APC to take over River State. You see, Nyesom Wike being the FCT minister is more like making him a governor in Abuja, which means he has to be at the seat of power in Abuja, and he hardly has time to go back and play the local politics. So whoever is having the notion that PDP has the upper hand in River State might not really be the game. The game as it is now. We have Rotimi Amechi now in River State, and of course, we're beginning to see subordination from Fubara towards Nyesom Wike. The feelers I'm getting from River State has been about Nyesom Wike's high-handedness in trying to run the state, using Fubara more like an administrator, and the young man is throwing some ball and saying, "I can't do this with you." Mind you, I was your the accountant general, so I know all your shady dealings. You're not going to turn me around like as if I'm a houseboy. So at the end of the day, it's a game between the power brokers in River State. It is not between Celestine Omehia, Nyesom Wike, and of course Rotimi Amechi. Then we know that of course Omehia and Wike were not really so close the way Wike and Odele was so close. So it's going to be a case of these guys at the ground trying their best to convince Fubara that they control the narrative, that they can help him, gain his foothold in the state. And just so you know, this is the first governor that's coming from Bonny. So you have a lot of sentiment from the Riverine people who are going to make sure that their son remains there. This is not an equal governor as it used to be. So they're going to make sure that the governor remains there. I saw videos yesterday of the boys from Bonny who were escorting the governor back to the National Assembly, and of course, they are the one that properly touched the place, and you could hear them shouting "Asawana, Asawana." So we're coming back to the days of the militancy and, of course, restiveness in the Niger Delta. So for me, Nyesom Wike has lost out in River State. He should focus on Abuja, probably join the biggest party in the world, the All Progressive Congress, and see what we can do for him. But if he's thinking about River State, he should forget about it. We have a governor in place who's doing a humongous project of about 100 billion plus. So definitely the guy has some power chest, has some money back to run the local politics as it is. I don't see Wike taking this power from Fubara anyway.
I want to respond to what Akubome said. Akubome said Wike has touched lives. And because
I think he meant to say he has brought a lot of people, mentor as a stand as a godfather to the politics.
1 + 1 is 2. You see, this is exactly. I don't blame anybody thinking that infrastructure is all that a governor can do in a state.
But these are some of the things the people lack, sir.
Yes.
Clarity.
You see, this is the
part of our problem.
What to expect from our government. The reason I'm raising it up is so that we know what to expect, so that we tell the people what to expect from the governor. Yesterday, I showed on one of your show here, I think I showed the Kano State governor intentionally, sending some people abroad to India. Not that I support going to India, get me right, but picking on genuine courses that will improve lives. How many, let me put it this way, how many computer experts of a high standard has UK produced in this time? You understand? You see, we talk about building lives. How much did Wike raise, or did he build on the ground now that he has left, that is raising money for River State? Of all the money he used in building bridges. Thank you for building bridges. Thank you, sir. But do you know what is so important? If Wike has invested some of this money, now we have Akwa Ibom Air. It might not even cost the state any money, but they have an airline. Do you have Rivers Airline? What can you see in Rivers State? I'm not very close to the state. That will make me be impressed that Wike did something. I would have loved to see Rivers Air. You understand? That they have an airline today. That they have something bringing money to the state. You see, your governors, all they do is they go wait for Abuja to bring in money, and just like the Riverine area, they have a lot of money coming
airports, sir.
They have a lot of.
You
see, again, it goes down to one thing: infrastructure. If the airport can be monetized, you understand? You see, Delta State need a Delta airline, Imo Air. You see, if the federal government cannot even give us an airline, does it stop Akwa Ibom from having Ibom Air? Are you not proud of it? That you can see a Nigerian airline flying to Ghana and actually making money
for the state.
For the state. Are you saying that our state government cannot raise money? So if Paraventure say no oil tomorrow, that the federal government cannot give you money, are you saying with the human resources and the available things, you cannot raise penny? And all you praise governor for spending money. All you tell him now is, oh, the government has spent the money well. And on infrastructure, stupidity. It's a shame. Because I'm used to, I expect, you know what I believe? The states, they earn a lot of money. Rather than using the money to pay salaries, they should think of how to make money for their own states. That has been my belief. And I'm really angry that in my time, I cannot pick 2-3 governors who are actually doing so. You see, the only one that managed to do something is Cross River. He managed to do the tourism. You understand? Even if you improve tourism, and if it's infrastructure, but let it be jet towards raising money for the state. Because tomorrow you cannot wait only at the end of the month for money to come from Abuja. It's bad practice. And maybe our people should hold our governor. You see, I'm going to ask governor. Anytime I see them, the first thing I say, sir, what are you doing? Your litmus test for me is, what have you done now in your years in office, or now that you are coming here, that will make money, so that when money doesn't come from Abuja, you can still pay. Well, let me think of it. Schools are making money in Nigeria today. The best business in Nigeria now, all of them are building schools. What stopped them from improving our schools? Every state have the right to run their own schools. All right? I will build my own schools. They will pay school fees, but I will have the best schools in Nigeria, so that people will leave other states and come to my state. And I'll be making money. It will not be free. But you know what that would be? That way you'll be building lives and making money. Think of any sector. Do you want to have the best hospitals? Do it so that we don't stop going to India. Invest in your state, so that money will come to the state and for the betterment of the country. Thank you. So let us be careful how we praise this, how do you call it then? Mediocres. They are mediocres, and we praise them in the name of government. No.
Okay, let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Vanguard this morning. We have here as the main headline: chaos erupts in Rivers, mayhem in Rivers. And we saw a story here that says Supreme Court verdict: struggle continues as long as I breathe. This is coming from Atiku. Nigeria greater than your selfish ambition. The presidency, APC tells ex-VP. Now that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says protest rock just over alleged conflicting tribunal judgments. Page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says FEC approves 2.17 trillion 20 trillion naira 2023 budget, supplementary budget. And that story is on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says the electricity sector privatization has failed. federal government admits autonomy. Oyo, Edo, Kanu, Ogun, Ondo, assembly workers begin indefinite strike. And that story is on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Tributes at elder statesman Nwambweze dies at 94. These are some of the stories coming from the Vanguard headline this morning. There's a story here. Well, we've talked about the last time on the show, but before then, look at the picture on that Vanguard. You can see the selfishness of our politicians, what they did to the state house. They destroyed, and I know that we know that this is a move made by somebody. They just give the order, and these talks go and destroy. This is really sad. Selfishness of one human being just to prove power or something. It's sad. And then there's a story here that says FEC approved 2 points. In some of the paper, we're saying 2.18 and some 2.17 trillion naira supplementary 2023 budget that decrease.
The issue of budget is something I hardly want to talk about because as long as it is for wealth creation, my problem today is at this stage where we are in Nigeria, infrastructure. I know you guys love infrastructure. Perhaps it's the fault of Nigerians, to always ask for infrastructure. We need good roads, yes. We need this, so we begin to clap. Yes, we need all those things. In fact, I don't know why they even removed toll gate. You understand? I believe that there should be toll gate, but the most important thing is the road should be maintained. In the UK we pay road tax. It's not free to drive vehicle on the road. You understand? Pay road tax. But you know what? Let that money be used to maintain the roads. You understand? Perhaps the government ideas is my biggest challenge. What is this budget all about? It's probably because they need money to pay salary. Buhari was saying that I did not raise some money. Nurses will not be paid. So all they raise money is to pay salaries. You understand? Run the affairs of the state. No really future plan. You see, if I tell you today that Nigeria cannot predict, we are not planning where we will be in the next 50 years. There's no strategic plan that now this is what we have today. By the time we are gone, this is where Nigeria will be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. Then we're in trouble. And all you guys, stop asking for infrastructure. Demand, long-term plan for the nation. And the only way you do that is if you now allow people to plant. Nigerians just want to reap. Let us plant. Every budget today should be scrutinized in that light. That's really what I'm talking about this. Let our budget, if those of you who analyze it, I've not seen the detail of the budget, it's just a figure now. I don't mind. You understand? But if you see the detail of the budget, your interest will be, what is the long-term plan for this? Otherwise, we're going to remain where we are now in 10 years' time. In 20 years' time, our children will not forgive us.
Well, we hope to see what, in Nigeria now, I don't even know what to do with our politicians, our leaders. That's the word, they are our leaders, actually. And then there's a story here as well that says, Kenneth, I'm going to throw this to you. Autonomy, or your Edo, Kanu, and others, some of other states, assembly workers begin indefinite strike. Do you think it is high time?
Well, for me, I think when it gets to National Assembly workers, there needs to be due process as to how they get their money. Most times, we've seen the fact that their money hangs within the emotions of the people in power. That is, if the speaker and, of course, the committee that appropriates their payment, if they are happy, then they get their money. If they're not happy, they don't get the money, they don't get the full pay, they don't get everything. So for me, I think autonomy is well deserved, especially looking at the fact that the judiciary had already gotten a bill from the Muhammad Buhari administration that said they should have autonomy as to their money and everything. But there also needs to be a very big question: who is working in the National Assembly? How do people get there to work? What is the kind of job that they do in the National Assembly? For me, I believe that the National Assembly is overbloated with workers. Yes, I say this because we've seen job racketeering within the assembly itself in terms of getting appointments and getting jobs. Most time it is the politicians that even nominate those that work there. Most of the people that work there don't even deserve being there. For me, I think there should be a need-based assessment of people that work in the National Assembly. This is the organ of the government that works on making laws, drafting policies, making sure that these are enacted into bills and sent out for people to send and work on. But most times you see people that don't even have legal training working in the National Assembly. You see English teachers that just get jobs in the National Assembly. You see people that haven't gone through any form of policy training get to National Assembly. Why we have graduates from the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies who don't even get the jobs in the National Assembly? For me, there should be a way to determine who works in the National Assembly before we start talking about their autonomy, their money. Like Daddy Chris said, everything about Nigeria is salary, salary, money, 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 money. Everybody's interested in the money. Nobody's asking for the quality that comes from the service, that these people render out there in the National Assembly. So for me, I support the autonomy because it gives them the ability to do their job without being interfered by politicians and, of course, their schemes when it comes to lawmaking and making sure that the appropriate laws are sent to the assembly. But then there should be assessment of those that are working there in the first place. What are they doing? Do they need to be there? And what exactly is the job description for them there?
Are they not civil servants?
Well, they are, but of course we know how the civil service in Nigeria is. For you to get into a particular ministry or a particular department, most times it takes just a signature from probably your senator. I'm talking about the National Assembly now. If your senator assents to your job, you're already employed. If your House of Assembly member assents to your job, you're already employed. And that is why they're asking for autonomy, because most of them, their jobs are not even secured. The moment their senator leaves the assembly or the House of Assembly, they're already fired. They don't have a job.
Oh,
wow.
in Jesus' name.
And we saw a story here as well. I know. Actually, we've discussed about that before, but this statement, I'm quite worried about it. That struggle continues as long as I breathe. And earlier, we also saw a report where democracy should be led by young people. Should such a statement be coming from an elder statesman, PDP stalwart as Atiku, Augustine?
Hello, come again.
Yes, I say there's a statement here from Atiku that says the struggle continues as long as I live, and we also saw it's one of the papers this morning where he said a democracy should be led by young people, right? So I'm quite worried. You're saying democracy should be led by young people, but you are not saying saying such a thing that the struggle continue as long as I breathe. So is he about?
So he's actually contradicting himself, because at one point he's giving an excuse that the youth should come in, and at the other point he's saying as long as he lives, the struggle continue. The struggle for what? Is it a struggle for a good government? Is it a struggle for the youth to take over? So his statement, he's contradicting his self when it comes to this. If he says that democracy should take over by the youth, I'm quite in line with that, and I support that. But I think he needs to be very clear with us what he means by as long as he lives, the struggle continues.
Can I ask all of you one question?
Go ahead.
When are we going to move from politics to governance? All right, we've been discussing politics is Tinubu. You understand? For how many months? If a country we spend this whole months discussing only politics, not governance, you understand? And when can we, as a people, as our politicians, can we begin to challenge them? Can the press begin to challenge them that we want to talk about governance? We don't want to talk to Tinubu, to Atiku about when the next election will be. We want to talk to Atiku why Nigeria can grow now. You understand? It should be we asking them those questions, and maybe we demanding that from them. Those of you in the press, you understand? Because yeah, go on.
You know.
Okay, we have a little bit of network issues there with him, but I think yesterday I brought Esquire to my show, and he did comment the media, even though we ain't doing enough should be told. But these people also know what they should do, even though we're standing as a watchdog of society, we're standing as a bridge between the people and the government. I think they also know what to do, and we have been saying that, we have been crying, and don't forget also that
Well, it's
the
what you
judiciary.
report. The question is what you report. If I go to a politician, it's what I ask him that he's going to say. Our headline yesterday, I was concerned. I said something here that there are 70 things that doesn't make Nigerian headlines, and it's the only thing that Nigeria talk about is actually politics. We don't see great things making headlines. I said the movie industry, the music industry is doing a lot now. We don't see them on the headlines. Let's leave that aside. You understand? So let disaster, shameful things. The question I ask is, now we'll be spending how many months discussing Nigerian politics? Politics. Oh, you see what? Take our headline today. Some stupid fight in River State. We are not concerned. The headline is not the Nigerian economy. It's not the Nigerian failing education system. It's not the poor health sector. You understand? Even that is still part of politics. But at least let us talk about, let's move that slowly into governance. Not, Baba, you are president. Let us see. You understand? Let us begin to x-ray this. All the parties, everybody involved. Both Labour, if you ask Atiku, as he's talking about his next, he said, no, Baba, this is what we have pressing us in the country. Can you talk on this? That's why I challenge all of you here now. Why are you people too not interested in governance? Why are you interested in politics? My hair is gray already, so I can ask you guys this difficult question. Let me bring up over back.
Okay. Augustine, go ahead. You were saying something quickly before we wrap up the newspaper segment.
So for me to quickly respond to his last question on why we are not interested in politics. You see, you might have an interest, and one thing is for you to be able to navigate around what will bring to bet your plan. It's not that we don't have interest to come into politics. We do, but taking a holistic view of the process of it coming to bet, you will now discover that the old oligarchies, which our old leaders who don't want to leave power, have placed so much airbag and let me say iron fist around you, penetrating the timeline of politics. So it's a very big work on us. We are interested in coming into politics, but the process involved in coming to the timeline of politics is very cubous and very complicated. Like from my place where I come from, you see, someone would like to say, okay, let me start politics from the councillorship. To become a councillor in your local community, it's not by voting. Someone say, the leaders have selected. They just go and pick few persons to become leaders. Those who they feel they will be loyal to them. So they really make this process is very strong for us, and it's challenging on us who wants to take over politics and become future leaders tomorrow. It's very challenging.
That was not exactly my question, but I think you that has become a topic for another day. That is, you being able to run for offices and young people participating in governance. But my really question was a general issue, because I think Nigeria wastes so much time and energy and money. You look at how much we spend on this election. You understand? Yeah, we don't have money for refineries. I'm sure you understand how much we spend for just election. And today, every headline in Nigeria is still about the same dead election. You understand? And I ask, can we put our energy to ask Tinubu what he's going to do because we have a government now? Can we be looking at that?
Sir, can we, there's I think we have a video already. Can we play that?
Oh, no.
We have a video here now on the president, what he said just days ago as regarding the judgments.
I don't think those videos are still in the system.
We have one.
This?
We're all in this boat of diversity, a member of the same family, living in the same house, but stay in different rooms. And it is important that we recognize that we have no other country but this one. So we better be committed to it, not for the sake of our own self-aggrandizement, our commitment to the values, the creed of dedication, patriotism, and commitment to the value of this country. It is extremely important that we have a change of mindset for the sake of our country. Not for us, but for our children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
Okay, that would be what the president had to say just some days ago, and you talked about we the youth coming into power. When should we take over, or when should we even start clamoring, or or holding them accountable as well? And you did hear from him now saying, as one Nigeria, as one people, we have to put our hand on deck. We should make Nigeria work not just for him. He's not talking about himself, but the children and great grandchildren. But I just wanted to prove a point. But like Amobeme said, now if you listen, just like what Atiku did this morning, contradicting what he already said in one paper or in the press release, that okay, I want the youth. It's high time the youth, start leading democracy. And then he's saying, as long as I live or I breathe, the struggle continues. And then we are not seeing the president say, for the sake of the younger ones, our children, our great grandchildren. But why is it there? That is the question.
Maybe I'm confused. Did you guys really understand what I'm looking for?
Yes.
My question was, you see, if you wake up in the morning, and you open your phone and you open Instagram, you will get news from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Facebook, meaning it is where you put your energy, that's where you will be. You understand? My question was, and I probably took us to this lane, which is okay. But my question was, why do we find it so interesting as a people to waste so much energy, money? Look at how much like I said, I gave instance. We spent a lot of money on the election. It didn't give us any result, but that's where it is. But that time has come and it's gone now. But I'll be here tomorrow. The headline will still be politics. Tomorrow, the headline will still be politics. No headline. It's on Nigerian economy. You understand? Is that what a newspaper should be doing? Is that the essence of headlines? And when I asked, that's why I asked you guys here, when should we start asking our politicians? Let me make it simple. They went to Atiku to ask him, Atiku, what do you think? Are you going to retire? That's why he said that. I would expect us to ask Atiku, look at the president has removed oil subsidy. What do we do? Now we're talking Nigerian economy now. That's a different topic. No, them coming back to power, not young people. Let's leave that one. You guys discuss that another day. Let's wait till the next election, or maybe you plan and come up with that. But our problem now is people are hungry. People are dying. There's insecurity in the country. You understand? There's no politics. Because it doesn't affect only the president, it affects every one of us. And why is our headline not really focused on that? You understand? The only time we see labor trying to go on strike is about government, which you understand. That's why I see support that they are the lesser devil. They still want to take the government to court for not paying us decent wages. I support that. You understand? Is that headlines? The headlines will be some two people fighting over power in rivers, which will already be blown out of context. I'm not interested in what happened to these two guys.
But one thing about the news is that it's what is trending today, and for instance, what is trending tomorrow. And
the question is, are we hungry? No, is security not a trending issue any day? I want to just ask you guys.
I don't think there is no time we'll start here that we'll not see security issues.
I want to see it on the headline.
We did see on Abia today 70 bodies, skeletons recovered near cattle market. That was an issue we did discuss on earlier.
No, what I'm saying now is, do you know how long we'll be going right now? We're going back to Wiki, you understand, and his miserable life in Rivers State. The president is even if we
we have not always talked about Wike, but this is something that if not well handled or talked about, you know, if we've seen analysts, we've seen godfathers in the political sector actually coming since yesterday to talk peace, and even people calling. We saw Edwin Clark also calling, and others as well calling the president that he should call Wike further, because we know that Wike is not sort of above the PDP. They can no longer curtail him. So they believe because he is not the right hand man of the president, just maybe he will listen to Tinubu.
No, I'm not fighting. I'm not you guys. Maybe you guys didn't really hear me well. Let me let the matter rest there.
Can I comment, sir?
Yeah, go on.
Is it just like you're saying? I support everything you're saying. The problem, like I keep saying whenever I'm on the show, is from the civil service. The Nigerian civil service needs to be rejuvenated. It needs to be purged. It needs to be cleaned. Like Chris is asking now is, I think this is the mandate of the news agency of Nigeria. They should be the one dishing out the news to the national dailies on a daily, censoring what's on the papers, you know, helping the editor.
News agency that will be bought over by the government. Are you serious? No, that will not work.
This is the narrative you're chasing. But of course, the Labour Congress says they are in control of the Labour force. So are you telling me that the Labour Congress is not in control of the Labour force? Because if they are
we know that the Labour Congress has compromised times without numbers. We all know that. Except when you are putting something as sensitive as news into the hand of individual of a country, it won't work.
So I'm going to say our interest. Let's talk about our personal interest. You understand? It's like what we like to consume. They give us what we want to consume, right? The newspaper is giving us politics. You understand? Politics. Kenneth is saying something now. You understand?
They keep pushing the political narrative so that we forget the real governance. Why I say this is because most times it's even the opposition that does this, so that we forget the fact that the government is actually doing something. The only thing we see is the critic to the government. Yes. Nobody's telling us, nobody's talking about the fact that the government is trying to invest in youth through digital skills right now. About 3 million Nigerians are actually registering for that. Nobody's talking about the fact that the government is trying to, you know, provide farming implements for. So these are things that should be.
I don't know the agencies for those what's it called, implementation. Are they not being done under agencies, under a body that is supposed to call it?
Can I say something?
Most of these agencies, like you say,
yes, I've been in media for years. You cannot see. I cannot go, for instance. I cannot go to FEMA, for instance, and say, okay, you must give me news. I will only hold somebody accountable for saying you said this and you said that, and that is why you see, for instance, Atiku did call a press conference or briefing yesterday, and he called media to come, and he said A and B, and that is what they actually reported.
One question did the journalist ask him? Did the journalists even ask him about governance? Did they ask him about the
and that is where we should be worried, not saying that we should give our news to Nigeria.
Now you get it. We're not saying this should be given to one body, but you guys are not getting me. When Atiku now bring us to a news conference, say, sir, thank you very much. We expect you next year. But now, sir, this is what we are going through. Can you tell us your position? Because you are telling us. You see, let our question be on governance. You understand? Not only the next election, who's going to be voted, how we're going to vote. Leave that one for INEC. We will discuss that. But it is wrong for a whole nation to spend 365 days discussing only politics.
Of course.
Meaning,
of course.
Right now, if we raise awareness on the government package, on empowering youth in agriculture, like Kenneth just said, maybe you see people will be aware, you understand, of it, and they work for it. I understand that we are not the one to force them to bring it out, but I'm begging the Nigerian press to a little bit, you know, to bring us some of these important details so that they become a highlight and people can then benefit from reading newspapers. You know, I'm not sitting down here reviewing papers. I want to be able to see that we're able to pass on important information to Nigerians, you know, both young, old, of all classes. So it becomes not only those who are old men who are already dying, going away. I don't know how many years he has left, or how many years Tinubu has left. These are guys are going. You understand? We are going. So let's be sincere. Let us give something to the youth. You know, and I'm saying to Nigeria, your interest, young people, should be the economy. Don't give who run the affairs. Your interest should be the structure, not who run the affairs. You understand? So because the person that run the affairs, God is so good, so kind to us. He gives us limited time. So people God not give us more time. Some of the people that ruled us before, they will still be alive now. They will still be fighting for power. But God has taken them. God is going to take them some away. Don't worry, guys. But what you need to be concerned about your future is what is the plan put in place for you? Your economy. The most important thing for any country is the economy of the country. You understand? Your security. These two things are seriously undermined. They are not on our top agenda, and it's disheartening. That's only what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that you guys are not doing the right thing. You know, I'm just trying to say I wish we can put a little bit of energy on that kind of thing so that we can empower people. Young people are out there; they don't know. You know, it's disheartening. And you know why I raised some issue too with Akobame when he said Wike has done well. That becomes what people expect. We begin to praise people that have constructed roads. You understand? No, our governance is not about constructing road alone. You understand? Tell us what you're doing that will put money. Now that we make this point, some Nigerians will not begin to say, okay, this is true. Why is my governor not making money for us? Akwa Ibom, I've just used Akwa Ibom as an example now. They have an Ibom Air. What's wrong if we have a Edo airline? If we have Delta Airline, we have Lagos Air. You understand? That will help. You understand? To raise the country transport system. You see, maybe this transportation we're talking of now, by the time they monetize it, it becomes more effective because there will be competitions. We have 36 states, they should be competing. And they should be producing, they should be productive. Where is Peter Obi? They talk about productivity. You understand? It should be on their case now. Not only when, again, I said something again on this show today, that it's not only when you become the president or the governor that you can make an impact. Are you not making an impact here? We wake up this morning spending time on this, trying to make sure Nigerians are aware. You understand? So we can do a lot of things. And even in our little time, we should use it constructively and say, oh, maybe this is where our energy should be. Those guys, I think Tinubu is an expert. He's been able to deceive us, to talk only about politics all this while, leaving him to nobody's asking him what he did with the money. They share palliatives. That becomes a news. Because the palliative thing is something toughy. They use it like you eating sugar. Go and die. You know what sugar does? You guys don't know yet. At my age, if you eat too much sugar, the sugar I ate when I was young is dealing with me now. You understand? That's what they give you. That's what palliative is. It's better you start eating bitter leaf now. Those of you who are young. Bitter leaf is good for you in the long run. But how does bitter leaf taste? So
that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to give Nigerians bitter leaf now for a better future in APC. Yeah.
Oh, Kenneth is doing that. Kenneth is an APC man. I hear that. You understand?
Yeah, Kenneth is an APC man. He's an APC man.
Joy, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I was trying to say that in a way we all are to be blamed because most of us can't even speak out. Though some have spoken in the past, look at NSAS. There are some people suffering for what they went through, for being able to voice out at that time. I'm talking in line with
very moments, right?
Please said. Hello?
Yeah.
Some people are suffering because they came out, because of what they said, because of things that they have said. And Daddy Chris was saying, why are the journalists not asking the right question? If you are online, you would have watched a clip from a channel where an interviewer was asking a question and it was almost turning to a fight because he was asking the right question about the situation in the country today. So people are scared. People are trying to be careful because people want to live long. So that's another side of it. Then the issue of changing the narrative, for me, I don't think that as it is today, it's not just News Agency of Nigeria that can help us or release news. Social media has come to stay. When we try to tweet or write about things and they trend, they become the news of the day. So that in that area, I still feel that we as individuals are at fault and we need to sit up and also make a voice create the news for the day, not the so-called politics that they want us to hear, diverting our attention from the fact that they are not governing us well. That's just what I wanted to say.
I think that's a good one too, and we know that we even have the likes of Senior Rufai, we have the likes of Shin, a lot of them also. We have the likes of, we know what happened to Benga Ruleba of AIT. That is a story for another day. But we know what happened during his time when he was even doing that morning show. A lot of issues. And
Focus
before
Nigeria.
Focus Nigeria.
That was
And
my
what
show.
happened? They now took him off that because he stepped on toes. We all know
Yes.
that story. And so the more they try, sometimes you see, we live in a country where when you say you're purging the system, start from the head first. Look at Tunubu talking about, we watched, that is why I played that video. He's talking about the youth, our great grandchildren. I think who came this morning is talking about the youth. Who are they deceiving? I said it yesterday on the show, they are all the same. PDP, APC, LP, all of them. Because look at Peter Obi today. He has gone to bed. The energy is no longer there. Even the youths now are not sleeping. So imagine if he actually continue with that energy, that he came out and was contested, then it would have been a good thing. Anyway, we've said quite a lot. But just before we go, Kenneth, does a state government or state governor has the right, to sack local government chairman?
Well, it's a very nice question, a tricky one too. But I think the first thing would be to determine how the local government chairman got there in the first place. Most of the local government chairman you see did not go through elections. Okay, constitutionally, the local government has the autonomy to operate on their own. They receive their money separately from the federal government. The allocation comes differently from them. Of course, the elections are done by the state's INEC. The state INEC handles the election and declares them, to run. But what we see at times is the governors, when they get into power, this is just rampant all over Nigeria, save a few states that, have been able to solidify their democratic institutions, maybe Lagos and some other one or two few states where we have, very, very credible leaders. But aside that, we have, what we have is just temporary chairmen, appointed ones. So when the governor comes into power, the next thing he does is what? He sacks them. When there's a problem between the governor and some of his political godfathers, he sacks them because these guys are just put there to hold onto the party structure for them at the local government level. So I know you're asking based on the River State.
Yes.
I've really asked questions on that. They did not go through elections. They were just appointed, on a temporary basis. And most of them were appointed sometime October last year when, the elections were kind of building up. We can use that to solidify his base on most of the LGAs. And of course, that is also how they siphon money from the local government, because nobody asks questions about the local government funds. Everybody only asks questions about the state government fund, the federal government fund. But most people don't even know that a local government has some local governments in Nigeria, even local government in River State. The money most times is diverted by the governors and his cronies, who just make sure they use these things to sort out, the politics at the local level and loot the rest. So the governor doesn't have the right to sack the local government chairman. We've had cases where association of local government chairmen have taken some state governors to court for impeding on their rights and sacking them, or probably putting their hand in their coffers, and they won those cases remarkably at the court. So even most times when the governors know that they're elected, they sack them, and then they spend the next 2 years, through litigations, turning them on and on, sorting the courts to make sure that they keep having adjournment upon adjournment while the governor keeps.
Kenneth, sack is different from being impeached. I want to understand. Legally, you're speaking as a lawyer now. Do they have the right, the legal right, to sack an elected, let me use the word, an elected local government chairman?
Well, the answer is like you just said now, they sacked them because they appointed them as temporary.
When they appointed or elected?
If they are elected, I use the word, an elected one,
no, when they're elected, they can't even think of sacking. It has to go through the house.
That's the language. That's the beauty again, yes. And you
when
said
elected, the governor can't even dream of that. He only has to refer them to the house probably with a corruption case
But,
or
but,
something.
but we know also that this one in River State were actually elected. There was an
They were
election.
selected. Can I say they were
Okay,
selected?
they were selected.
Yes.
They were selected.
Caretaker committee. That means different states with their own constitution. I don't understand because I know, like in Delta, in Edo, they actually run election and they were voted for.
No.
Even though we know that they were.
What happened is now their tenure is about to finish, like the ones in Delta now. The governor could wait for some time by appointing committees before calling for election. It is the power of the governor to call the election. See, this is where they trick. Now they will wait for about 6 months. They put the few people there. And now if I put you there to go and run a local government, and you know your allocation is 350 million, maybe 500 million, you dare not ask me for that money. I'm going to give you maybe 50 million. And you are happy because you're just one full brother. But my question is, which is a very big area, we're going to look at that carefully another day. My question is, how can a local government, an elected local government chairman, allow the state governor to mess with his allocation? He cannot tell me. They have right to ask how much is officially coming to my local government. You understand? I have been voted for by my people, but the question is, there's no democracy even at the local level. I said there's democracy at the federal level. Look at every state. If you go to any state and you see APC governor, all the local government will be APC. Now we have PDP in Delta State. All the local government will be PDP. Because this, you see, if you see, we don't talk about this democracy as it affects the states. And perhaps that is the most important thing. Before federal government will impact my life, my state has already done millions. Mm-hmm. Let us look at our state. This is what I talk about. Even if we want to talk politics, that is the area of politics we'll be looking at. You understand? The local government chairman, don't ask him when he comes to power, sir, what are you doing to make money for they can. Local government in UK, I live in Enfield. If you see how much our local government makes, we pay a lot of taxes to the local government, but they make so much money. Do you understand? See, they have the power. Local government have power to make money. And let's put it this way. If let's say your governor wants to do well, and he say every local government in Nigeria, for instance, you have, which is their money, 1 billion from the state to grow agriculture. Let it be a competition. It costs us nothing to raise 25 billion and give to each of the local government. If you want to do poultry, do poultry. If you want to do crops, do. Every local government, and I will follow you up. You understand? I've released the money today, I will announce it. In another 6 months, I'll bring them back. They come and give account. Like a press, you see, things will begin to happen at the local level. And we don't ask this question, Mr. Press. You see what I'm saying? All we come to do is discuss how Tinubu and the old Atiku is coming back to become president. Look at things that concerns us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway,
sound issue.
That would be a good place to wrap up the show. I really wanted us to dwell more on this Rivers issue, but we talked quite a lot. Yes. I wanted to know if talking about the how do you call the lawyer of I'm talking to you now, Kenneth. When we talk about the chief judge, right, of the state, we've seen that the state government actually sacked him as well. Is that even possible?
Can you do that?
Yeah, these are political appointees. These are political appointees. They are not.
I feel like somebody, a judge or representing the state, it's quite worrisome to know that they can just come out and the next thing they tell you are no longer there. We know this. Yes.
Well, these are. You need to understand.
Okay.
Some
reasons these are
politics. Okay.
Let's put it this way, Ken. A judge cannot be sacked
Okay.
by the government,
person that
but
was
he
sacked
can be
still
removed
African.
from the office of the chief justice.
Okay, not sacked. Maybe he was removed
from
then.
an office.
From an office.
But he remains a judge. He goes back to his, from
He's
you want to appoint an INEC chairman. Sorry, Ken. You go and pick somebody to be INEC chairman. He could be a judge. If you sack him from INEC chairman, he go back to, if he's a lecturer, he go back to do his job. You understand? So, but you cannot. If somebody say, hey, I sack you as a lecturer. For you to sack a lecturer, he has done misconduct. You understand? You don't just go and put out a lecturer. That is a stable job. You understand? So, like Kenneth right say, only political appointees get sacked. And then if I appoint you, I can sack you, of course.
Okay. And now let's talk about Wike. We've seen that Wike and Fubara, you could see when they were actually close, the father and the son kind of relationship and all that. And now we've seen that there is a fallout. And this is due to, Wike trying to run the state even while being away at the federal level. And this is something we've seen over the years in Nigeria, and it's becoming really a big problem to us. Kenneth, I'm going to ask Kenneth because he's a lawyer, and most of these questions, like you said, are tricky. So that's why I'm going to Kenneth. Kenneth, we've seen that over the, some days ago, we saw on a major headline here that, my state governor as well, and the ex-governor were actually having a little tussle, and they came out to deny, which what we saw at Edo, and even Edo between the what's it called, the deputy and the governor. I even brought somebody from that state house of assembly to my show here, and he denied. Later, we now saw it open. Now, what do you think is the issue, and how can this be resolved? Do we need to start, during election? Can people just come out on their own and campaign? Because the fear is that if you don't have a godfather, or you don't have, the presence of the sitting governor, it will be difficult for you to even succeed or to sit on that seat. That has always been the fear of Nigerians.
Well, thank you, Princess. You see, this is the peculiarity of the Nigerian politics. There is no way we can hide the fact that Nigerian politics is a very, very intricate game. It's very tricky, and is only for the strong at heart, and of course the depths, the tricky ones that succeed. The case of Fubara and Nyesom Wike, for me, I think is just like what Malcolm X would say. The cock has come home to roost for Nyesom Wike. If you look at the way Nyesom Wike, of course, became the governor of Rivers State, it's almost the same thing that is happening with Fubara. Nyesom Wike was once the chief of staff to Rotimi Amechi, who nominated him to go and become, a minister at the federal level, and then he came back with, of course, the FSAS, which most people might not even know the history of SARS in Nigeria and becoming so, lawless. Because Wike that brought back FSAS to Rivers State, which was a federal SARS to Rivers State, with the using, doing a lot of. I was in school then. He's been doing a lot of things to, hold on to power, and he became the governor. Now, over years, he had developed the penchant of becoming a sort of an emperor in Rivers State. He had almost declared himself, to become the strongest man in Rivers State. We've seen, former militant leaders become kings under his regime in Rivers State. So it was a reign of, strength, a show of force for Nyesom Wike. And then, by the time he was going to leave, the government house, he decided to make his accountant general the next governor, even at the expense of the Ogoni people, who rightly should have, gotten their seat with their son, Magnus Abe. I say this because I'm a bit, down to Rivers politics, owing my years in school and, of course, living there. So the problem has been with Nyesom Wike's high-handedness. So whatever he's getting now is the same seed he's planted. Remember that even as a father, there are things you do, your son will watch and learn. So every style of politics you see in Fubara display, the buying of the state government, National Assembly, the State Assembly, and everything. This is the kind of politics Nyesom Wike plays. Remember during Rotimi Amechi's tenure, there was even a fight that broke out in the House of Assembly where we had sitting lawmakers, chanting with cultist-related slogans. It's still there. They were saying, "Rome makes the They used the mace to hit the minority speaker, and he was unconscious, almost that he was even flown outside the country. Up to today, that man is not strong enough to even talk on TV or to talk about politics. They ended his political career right inside the State of Assembly, where they were dragging for power between Nyesom Wike and Rotimi Kameji. So I'm not in support of Fubara, but this is the governor. This is an elected governor. If Nyesom Wike feels that he's going to be in Abuja and stay on Rivers State, it's a dream that cannot be actualized. And Fubara is telling him now, listen, we're all Rivers people. You could be my boss, you could be my father, but you're not going to be running this state for me. I could protect your interests, and that is why you're seeing both the Attorney General of the state being, carefully eased out. You're seeing the local government chairman being sacked. These are people that Nyesom Wike had already put into the system, and Fubara had already been working with them, making things happen with them. But when he felt at the time that, Nyesom Wike is coming to, encumbering for him, he couldn't even, show himself up as like you asked properly. This has always been the case. You could even relate it with Shaibu and Obaseki in Edo State. You could even with Delta State, Bobara and the rest. So it's always like that. And these are human beings. These are Africans. We don't really believe in another person, marching on you for a long time. It gets to a limit where the man cannot take it. He has to revoke. And there is money. He has power. He has people. He has his influence. He has supporters. Even from the Nyesom Wike's camp, there are people who are not happy with him. That was gladly push this man to go and start this crisis. So what I was saying in Rivers State today is a manifestation of Nyesom Wike's regime for the past 8 years. People are fed up politically. His sons are no longer breathing. They can't take it anymore. They have to report. It's expected.
And Daddy Chris, just before we go now, what is the place of our security agencies? Now, we saw the display yesterday. It's as if, like I said earlier on the show, it was even well orchestrated. It's proud to that time because we saw massive, they came out as if it was a war already, spraying tear gas and water cannon and all that. So, and even the governor did allege that he said that they actually shot at him. So where is the place of our security in all this? Is it that they are being bought over or what?
That's one of the challenges where I feel sorry for the most of the governors. All right, that is the only power they don't have. The police, the authorities are controlled at the federal level. So if you see the drama between the Lagos State governor and the police officer, and when the state governor ordered him and he said, "I cannot do that, sir." You understand? He's the number one citizen of the state, but he does not control the power, the police. And that is something you must have seen yesterday, that the federal guys can I have a story in my place, when the particular governor was in power and he was making mad, the next morning they changed all the security. His personal policemen only were changed. And the guy was thinking, oh, what are these guys going to do? Meaning, like, they did, without telling him. They woke up with money and said, I'm here now. Say, what happened to Jumbo? Say, Jumbo is no more, I'm here. Well, these are my personal guys. See, they can just do that to threaten a sitting governor, which is quite interesting. For me, I don't care about what they do to themselves anymore because they are not doing it in the interest of the people. I always say, when this fight gets so ugly, it's hardly in the interest of the populace. And that is what we see now. Understand? Our security challenge is see federal government. Why is it so difficult for a state governor to control the police in a state? That is the miracle of our time. You understand? Why is it? Why are you holding on to that for? Insecurity is now reigning supreme in our land. Why can't you devolve that power to the state and the local government? I don't understand it. You understand? Because I cannot be state governor and then the policeman guiding me. I don't have when to deploy him. I don't have a say. What happened in that house? Only God knows where who gave the authority that led to the burning. This event that happened here. No, only God knows who must have given this power from where. And so, if you're a governor, other than money you can steal, there's still somebody watching you from behind.
I think the case of River State is quite deeper than we can even see because if you follow the trends since yesterday, we saw even some of the SSA to Fubara now saying that they stand with Wike. So a lot of people like Augustine said earlier, you could see that the PDP governors will be meeting today, but even amongst them, there will be people just going there to report back to Wiki. And this is some of the
Princess,
issues.
don't worry, they will fight. You know, I tell the story of Ibori and Okowa. You understand? That deep down, within Okowa's government, there were people who were loyal to Ibori. That was why when Okowa saw what was going, he had to drop a day. He dropped this guy, they made because these guys were not, they would say, imagine, I remember, let me give you one story. Wait till Oga talk. I'm a sitting governor. In fact, the got the time Godwan was angry. You understand? A governor will be talking. He said, but Oga said this. But I'm your governor. You're telling me, Oga, the man is no more here. You understand? So that they get, you know, we're human beings. You understand? By the time you begin to tell what Oga say, even when I am your governor, I will react now. You understand? So that is exactly what we say. People are the governors are reacting, and I think it's a legitimate right. But you know what is good, eh? By the time they fight, they run to us. You see, we must be careful not to encourage this kind of fight. They should fight. When they fight, you know what is interesting now? These two people being friends, the state is in trouble. When they are now fighting, they're looking for friends. They come into us. Maybe this is where we gain. You understand? Please let us encourage the fight. In fact, we should be putting fire. Let the fight happen.
But you know, like with that saying that when two elephants fight, the grass suffers.
No,
so
this elephant fighting, they'll break their head and we'll pick the remains of what because we are only getting all the remains before. Let them fight. Whatever drop, we will pick and eat. We want the two elephants to fight so that we'll get something to eat. Even though with these two people as friends, they're gonna come, they put the whole state in their pockets. But when they fight, they now know, you see, like we said, we're begging Nigerians that the importance of credible election is this. Okay. By the time we vote, and it is we that vote this guy in power, Wike dare not do what he's doing now. But because Wike knows, I am the one that made you there. That's why he's misbehaving. You understand? So let us, you see, when we say credible election, it's not only for the right person, for proper governance, because the guy will not be accountable to us, not to. So we pray that it should be accountable to the people. So this kind of fight help us to achieve that anyway.
Okay, we've said quite a lot, and that would be a good place to wrap up the show this morning. Thank you so much, Daddy Chris, Kenneth, Joy, and Mary as well as Abu Omer Augustine. Thank you so much for being on the show today. We appreciate your time. Just before we go, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe. Invite somebody to the page as well. Leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. And let's not forget our Srtv packages. We have the travel tour. We'll take you anywhere around the world. We'll book your ticket for you. So fly with us. And there are video coverage as well, event coverage. Anything you do, we are here to cover for you at a very minimum rate. As well, we have our rentals. We have all kind of equipment. They are available for your use. Also, our magazine, as low as 30K, you could be on the face of our magazine. And of course, I'll showcase your brand, yourself, and your products as well. Don't forget our, who wants to, the next president talent show as well. Young people, this is the things we'll talk about here. These are the things we have been talking about. Make use of this great opportunity to showcase yourself. You need to start now so that when you get there before the time, you know exactly what to do. We don't see the likes of Godfather, Reason, Wike, and Fubaran here and there. We'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully, on the show. And remember that peace is priceless, so let's always give peace a chance. I remain yours truly, Princess Cassie.
Hooray! The next President Show is here again. Are you aged between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills? Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen. The next President reality TV show, moving politics out of the polite drawing room into the clamor of the streets. Are you a filmmaker in Abuja and its environ? Do you need a place for your music video, or you need a venue for your conference and even an editing suite for your post-production? Look no further. Our beautiful turret in Lokogoma has it all. We have a whole floor that consists of 3-angle lounge, a beautiful dining area, a large kitchen, a conference area that can comfortably accommodate 60 persons, and 5-bedroom adaptable for all kinds of shoots. The good news is all is available at affordable price. And you know what? If you are a member of the Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, you have 20% discount. So what are you waiting for? Hurry and contact us on the numbers on your screen now.